So hello everyone, and welcome to a new Jaltest webinar. I am Marcos, and today I'm happy to be here presenting the most important innovations of the first update of the year, the 21.1. Today, I'm not alone on this. My colleagues Jorge and Isidro will take care of part of the presentation as well. Before moving forward, let me please remind a couple of things. First one is that, as we usually do, we are recording the session, and it will be later uploaded to our YouTube channel. Okay. Also, we would like to do this webinar interactive. So in case you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and use the chat window for that. We will try to answer on the progress. So either myself or Jorge or Isidro will be there on the chat. If you prefer, you can also send us an email with your questions to customersupport@jaltest.com, customersupport@jaltest.com. And finally, just a recommendation, which is to follow us in our social media. We are very active in LinkedIn, in Facebook, and YouTube. So if you want to be up to date about everything that is new, such as product innovations, training content, etc., just follow us. All right, so this is going to be our agenda for today. In the first part, we will go through the most important software innovations. And after that, we will split the session in three parts, going module by module to show the most interesting things added in each of them: commercial vehicles, off-highway vehicles, and finally, agricultural vehicles and equipment. Always, we don't want to just list the new features and developments of the version, but also we want to explain what they are for, and of course, try to show you which is the main added value that they bring to the user. So this slide perfectly shows our commitment with the continuous product improvement. You could see here the numbers of the update. In blue color are the totals, and then in green color, the amount of them that have been included in this update for each category. So for example, in just one version, which is in 4 months, the number of brands has grown considerably. In total, we will find 74 new makes in this version. Same thing with the growth in the number of models, around 1,900, and systems, over 5,500. In the same way, we have increased the number of bidirectional controls available and the database of technical information, such as wiring diagrams, vehicle technical data, repair times, or troubleshooting of the most common fault codes. We would like to take advantage of this slide and say a big thank you to all of you guys, because you are a very important part of this product improvement. We're always asking you to please keep a close communication with us, either through the customer support service or through the Jaltest feedback functionality in the software. In this way, we could be aware of your needs and develop the tool in that direction. So let's begin with the software innovations, which will apply to the different modules in Jaltest: commercial vehicles, off-highway, agricultural vehicles, and marine. The first of them is the result of listening to the request that many of you have been doing over the time, is the integration of the Jaltest Marine together with the rest of the modules. So many of you were asking to include it, okay, in the same platform. So we listened to you and started working on this development. So this is a very good news, because from this version, the integration of the Jaltest Marine under the same platform and under the same diagnostic device is a reality, meaning that Jaltest Marine will be available together with the rest of the models. Until now, Jaltest Marine was a separated module that needed its own device. So therefore, this integration is gonna increase the repair versatility and business possibilities of the final user, so that they are able to handle the repairs of more type of vehicles and service more customer profiles with just one tool. Together with this integration, we would like to announce the launch of the Jaltest University, a beautiful e-learning project in which we have been putting all our love, enthusiasm, and knowledge in order to offer educational and training resources of the highest quality and fully updated. Under this new platform, our users will find a wide range of courses prepared by industry experts and related to diagnostics and mechanics. These courses will cover different topics, like, for example, how to check electrical components, pneumatics, common rail, and many more. The access to the Jaltest University is going to be restricted to Jaltest users. And if you're wondering where to go or how to access, it is very easy. Just go to jaltest.com, then enter in your customers area and download the app. There you have the shop as well. In this way, the Jaltest University joins the different training resources that you can find on our website and social networks, like webinars, case studies, vlogs, etc. As you can see, we are very committed with the content creation and to provide you with training material that can be helpful for you. Since we have been just started, you will see how in this Jaltest University, the number of courses is going to increase over the time, okay? So I would like to show you a short video, presentation video of this platform. All right, so there it is, the presentation of the Jaltest University. So if you're interested, please take a look. And even if you have some requests regarding topics that you want us to cover during this project, just let us know, okay? And we'll work on this. All right, so another innovation of the version is the possibility of customizing the information related to specific components. So let's say that for some reason, the location of one component or sensor is slightly different to the one shown by Jaltest. Or maybe the component itself doesn't look like exactly the same as the one in the picture. So in those cases, you could use this new feature and customize the information displayed by Jaltest. So for example, you could make a picture of your component or its location and just upload it and save it. In this way, every time that you connect to the same system in future, you will always have that customized information. And what is more interesting here is that if you wish, you could share that information with us so that we can add it in future software updates and be enjoyed by the rest of the Jaltest users. Other software innovation that you will find in this version are, for example, the help for the selection of the correct wiring diagram according to your system configuration, or the display of the fault codes ordered by importance or priority levels. Regarding the GRP module, if in the previous software updates we included the option of exporting and importing customers, from this 21.1, it will also be possible to export and import vehicle list through Excel or CSV files. Another important improvement with GRP is that we continue adding more and more functionalities, like, for example, columns and filters that are going to improve your search of information and also the display of the information, okay? So once we have seen the main software improvements, let's go ahead and explore which are the main innovations added in this 21.1 version for commercial vehicles. Before starting, I would like to make a quick note here to remind that you can always check our coverage through Jaltest report, which is located in the customers area once you log in jaltest.com. Or if you prefer, you could also go to our website, any of them, jaltest.com or Kojali USA, and look for the coverage section. Okay. So we start our way through the different vehicle categories, focusing now in the most important innovation for heavy-duty vehicles. Important to be mentioned here that we're going to highlight the most important innovations to not make the webinar super long. However, there have been many more developments for these for the different brands and systems. So if you would like to know all of them, please access your customer area again and find the documents with all the details. So starting with Allison, we have included the color codes of the cables in the wiring diagrams so that the physical checks of the wires become easier. As you can see in the picture, each color has a 2 letters nomenclature, and although it is very intuitive, in case you want to make sure and not be wrong, just go to the help guide that is on the right side, where you can check the color meaning. Okay. So let's move to Caterpillar now. As you may know, some specific functions in Caterpillar are protected by factory password. For example, whenever we want to clear those faults called events, or when we want to carry out advanced controls related to the DPF system. All right, so from this 21.1 version, we have included a factory password management so that, for example, we can perform the DPF as service reset or the DPF replacement, both in the EPA 07 engines. Also, this factory password management will make possible the modification of the engine serial number. And even it will allow us to clear those fault codes called as events from the system's memory, as we said before. It's important to take into account that the code or the password itself is not provided by Jaltest. So if you're wondering how to get it, you could always go to your dealer or even ask to Google. For Navistar International, we continue adding advanced dealer-level functionalities that until now were only possible through Diamond Logic Builder, the OEM tool. In this case, more than 450 bidirectional tests for the body controller module have been added, as for example, different component actuations or activations related to the lights, doors, switches, etc. These activation components are very important in order to make sure that the wiring is correct and that the component is acting in the way that it has to do it. Then moving to Packard, we have expanded our capabilities in the cabin module CECU3 on CAN, which is present in many Peterbilt and Kenworth trucks. In many variants of this system, we will be able to modify very specific parameters at a level of detail comparable to that offered by dealers. So for example, let's imagine that you want to convert your old halogens into LED bulbs to gain a massive increase in road illumination. So in this case, it will be necessary that in addition to change the light itself, of course, we modify the parameter related to the type of headlight. So in addition to those parameters modifications, and for those cases in which we need to replace an ECU and want to keep the configuration, it will be also possible to copy or save the ECU memory and then paste it. As you see, we are talking about the small details that, again, pretty much are giving you dealer-level capabilities. So let's move to Volvo and Mack. So in each update, we work to expand the references and the variants of all the systems, increasing the coverage and ensuring the reliability of interactions with vehicle systems. It is important to mention that the electronic systems may have many different variants, even over 1,000 of them, as it happens in Volvo. Most of them will be covered by Jaltest. However, could be a few of them that are still out of Jaltest range. When we want to connect to an unknown system variant, Jaltest is going to show a message like the one that you have in the screen, saying that the control unit reference has not been recognized. So probably many of you have already experienced this before. Well, until now, you had the chance to send a Jaltest feedback to let our customer or technical team know about it, and many times with their help and connecting through an advanced mode, we could help you to connect. So from this version, we go and we do a step forward and give you access to extended and updated coverage in new software references and system variants through web services. What does it mean? So whenever you have that unknown system variant message that we said before, in addition to the option of sending this Jaltest feedback, you could search your system variant in our database through our web services. So you will need internet connection, okay? In this way, if you are lucky and your system variant had been recently added, you could connect to it and have access to the full capabilities in that system. I would like to showcase that Jaltest plays quality over quantity, since it offers dynamic load of actions and parameters, meaning that what is shown in the screen is what is really available. And this is important because you could find other tools out there might show parameters through an static load, which means that some of them that are apparently available might not be supported by the vehicle. Okay, so here you have an example of I was telling before. So this is the example of an unknown system variant action tree, and then you can just look for your system variant by using the web services. So you need to have internet connection. And if you're lucky, and we have recently developed that system variant, you will have access to the full content of that system. Okay, so that's important. Before going forward to the light commercial vehicles, I would like to mention, also related to the Volvo Max system variant, that even if we're highlighting this innovation in the commercial vehicle section, this is also applicable to the off-highway model, since the B3 technology of Volvo is present in these vehicles as well. Now, yes, let's move forward and then see what is new for light commercial vehicles. So in this 21.1 version, we will see how the family of makes and models included in 4 is going to grow with the addition of light and medium duty 2020 and 2021 models with 7.3 engine. Okay, so from F650s, 750s, and also the pickups and the Van E series. Okay. In addition to that, we improved the capabilities for the PCM Cummins 6.7 engine that could be found in Dodge Rams from 2013 to 2017. And related to this manufacturer, although it is not for this version, we would like to announce that very soon we will have the unlock of the security gateway for 2018 and newer models, which is necessary in order to perform diagnostics on these models, as you know well. That is something that many of you were requesting over the time, so we work on that, and it's coming shortly. And then moving to trailers, the Gen 2 or GEN2 ABS system from Globtech Manufacturing has been added. For this one, we will find from diagnostic capabilities to live measurements, ECU data, and technical information. And with this, we put the end to the part of the webinar dedicated to the general software innovations and the innovations related to the commercial vehicles. So next, we will talk about the innovations for off-highway vehicles and agricultural vehicles and equipment, which means that for all of you that were interested in only in commercial vehicles, I would like to say a big thank you so much for joining today. And of course, you are more than invited to continue watching. But in case you leave, just remember that you can send us your questions or comments to customer support at jaltest.com, and also visit us in our websites, kojaliusa.com and jaltest.com. And now I would like to give the word to my colleague Jorge, who is going to tell us more about the innovations of the off-highway module. So thank you very much.
So, well, hello everyone, and thank you, Marcos. Now we are going to see the new innovations for the off-highway project. As my colleague has mentioned, these innovations are not all the new stuff updated in Jaltest, just some of the most relevant integrations that we wanted to share with you. And I will try to highlight the real value of these updates for you in your daily task, the real value of this 21 version of Jaltest off-highway. And first of all, I would like to hold on. I would like to start with the new brands that we have integrated in Jaltest 21.1. That are the ones that you. Uh, 1 second. Can you help me, Marcos, with passing the screens? I don't know why I'm not having the control. Okay, thank you. So the new brands that we have integrated in Jaltest off-highway are the ones you have now in the screens. That includes, for example, XCMG, that is one of the biggest Chinese construction equipment manufacturer. Also, we have a new material handling make like Jungle Ridge, Skytrack, or Toyota, but also other makes like Dresta, Birmir, and stationary engines like Himoinsa. Okay, Jaltest off-highway is the largest aftermarket solution in our industry, bringing dealer level coverage in more than 3,000 systems and more than 100 makes. But it doesn't mean that our work has concluded. We are committed with this development, and Jaltest is growing every 4 months with more coverage, more technical information, and more functionalities that are designed for our customer needs. So let's have a look in some of these new updates, starting from earth moving equipment, and it couldn't be in another way that starting from Caterpillar. We have a new system in telehandler and excavators, that is the MCM, that covers the hydraulic system for this machine with dealer level bidirectional test, like the calibration in the solenoid valve. Okay, through this task, the ECU will learn the minimum and maximum position of the valve, and it is a manual process in which Jaltest will let the technician know how to use the joystick in order to be able to configure this minimum threshold in which the ECU will sense the electronic communication. Okay, this is a very important action, and it's very sensitive because, as you may know, the hydraulic system joystick, it's a very sensitive system of the machine, and it's very important to calibrate the hydraulic by performing this action, because doing that we will be able to work in better conditions and gaining not just the work efficiency but also in the maintenance of the machine, avoiding breakdowns and other issues that we can have with the hydraulics in these excavators and telehandlers. This new coverage allows the users of Jaltest to avoid going to third parties for the services in calibrations, because now they have a solution that will be able to perform these actions. Okay, so this is very, very useful again, and they will save a lot of money and time by performing the repairs themselves. But 21.1 not just bring this coverage in Caterpillar, also has new functions for the engines. Okay, as you see now in your screen, we have new functions from C3.3 Caterpillar engines to C15 that are the big ones. Actions like, for example, injector exchange, injector coding, AGR valve activations, different cylinder cutout, full pump calibration, different actions that not just cover the engine, but also the after treatment system, like, for example, the DF system history check, or the system display of measurements while performing actions on the SCR system in Caterpillar engines. And also, there's a new innovation in Caterpillar that will be the troubleshooting in the after treatment system. That it will be very useful because you will have the technical information available there and the step-by-step guide in order to perform the repairs for a specific fault. Let's continue now with the Volvo construction. we have integrated a new calibration for wheel loaders that came directly from our customer petitions. Okay, as you probably know, and as Marcos already mentioned, we are always trying to develop our solution and not just following the market needs, but also our customer petitions. We want to provide you the most personalized solution for your diagnostics. And this is an example of that. This is a calibration that is now available in all Volvo wheel loader L series. And is a transmission calibration that through an automatic test allows you to adapt and improve the performance of the transmission connecting directly with the ECU electronically. There are several reasons why a calibration is necessary. For example, after changing component, after repairing the system itself, or when we want to improve the machine operability. Okay, so for example, after hours of hard work, sometimes the machine starts to operate more abruptly. So this type of transmission calibrations is the perfect maintenance to allows the wheel loader to work finer. So our workers will have a greater comfort when carrying out his work, since the calibration reduces vibrations, the wear, and finally prevent the breakage of the different components. Also, we have new systems for Volvo, the ones you have in your screen. For example, the TECU transmission system, VECU central computer system for wheel excavators, and also the exhaust gas after treatment system with options like the fuel shut-off solenoid and the leakage test and more new system checks in all these systems. Regarding the rest of the air moving equipment, we have more innovation in other makes. For example, in John Deere, that my colleague Isidro will mention later, or for example in JCB, in which we have included new system for excavators and new coverage in the engine of the Diesel Max engine. Okay, I will continue now with the material handling equipment, and we will start with JLG, that is the most used makes in material handling equipment in the United States, and we have increased a lot the coverage in all the models of these makes since the last updates. I don't know if you remember, but in 20.3 we integrated in the software dealer level coverage in all the hydraulics of all the models of JLG. But we have keep working on this make, and now we have added a lot of technical information, like for example the maintenance intervals in both hydraulic and engine systems. For example, in this occasion, we have a lot of maintenance for Deutz engines that are the one that carry out the biggest JLG machines. And well, this information is very interesting, and for rental companies especially, that can now perform not just the bidirectional test in all the hydraulic system, but also know the recommended maintenance interval in order to be able to work by their own. Once again, Jaltest Software works following one goal, that is bringing an all makes and all system coverage to all our customers in order to make them more independent and more free when they are repairing their assets. In other words, you are working with your machines, and what we want is provide you a solution that allows you also to repair your own machines. For the rest of the makes regarding the material handling equipment, well, we have interesting development as well. For example, in Bobcat, in which we have a new system for telescopic handlers. Also, we have integrated new system for Lind with a new connector that is the GDC 552. That is a connector for the electric vehicle, sorry, and new functions in Kubota telehandlers, as also the new makes that are Toyota and Skytrack, for example. I will conclude this part with the new coverage in stationary engines. That is a model that you know that is integrated in the software. And I would like to start with Cummins, because well, here our engineering team has worked really hard in this in this manufacturer during the development of this 21.1 update. So well, first of all, I would like to thank them for the very great job that they have done. And now we can say that the Jaltest Software brings dealer level coverage in Cummins QSF 3.8 engines, because we have now all the bidirectional tests in maintenance in all the in this model. Okay, so this update means a lot, because in this specific model our customer will be able to perform advanced actions like the SCR catalyst converter, regenerations, or a DPF replacement without the needing of the dealer, okay? So as you can see in the software screenshot, there are now dozens of bidirectional tests available and supported as always with the best technical information. There are more updates for Cummins and for other models. For example, new functions for QSB 4.5 and 6.7 with the accelerator lock settings and the SCR system operation test. For example, for QSG 12 and QSX 15, we have introduced now in this update the removal of the SCR system inducement mode. That is very useful when we are having these blocks because of the after treatment system, and this will be provide us an extra life in the machine. Okay. Then continue with the stationary engines. I would like also to talk about the Deutz because 21.1, this update, is an example of the innovation and vanguardism of Jaltest of 5-way. For example, we cover now tier 5 engines. An example of that is Deutz. That is the latest emission regulation in the market that reduce the CO2 emissions by making the engine and the after treatment systems more advances in terms of efficiency. Okay, so what I wanted to highlight here is that Jaltest covers the latest models and cover them with the best coverage possible in the aftermarket industry. Because, for example, for the Deutz MD1, that is one of these last engines, we have provided advanced tasks like the pressure relief valve reset, a very common maintenance action in Deutz engines that was available in previous models, but is now also in the tier 5. And I mean very common because the pressure relief valve works in a way that is counting the number of times that the pressure overrides the estimate pressure within the common rail. When this number arrives to its maximum, we will need to change this valve and to install a new one. So we will need to perform this reset. So I mean, sooner or later we will need this, and if we do not have the coverage, we will need to go to dealer service or to another shop that can carry out this type of reset that once again are very common in Deutz engines. Once again, for the rest of manufacturers, we have new functions in Perkins, Janmar, also in Liebherr, in which we have also a new connector. And we have very interesting developments in FPT and Kubota, but here again, these updates will be in the AGV software as well, so Isidro will mention later. And I would like to finish my presentation, letting you know what is coming now, what will be now, and in which we are currently working. Just to highlight again our commitment to keep this project improving every 4 months. So, for example, we will expand our coverage in material handling equipment with more proprietary systems in the hydraulics, more makes, and also more coverage in Volvo Penta, Cummins, and Deutz engines, with new updates, for example, in Caterpillar excavator. So, well, just stay tuned because we are working hard to keep being the best aftermarket solution for off-highway machines. And thank you again. And now I leave you in very good hands with my colleague Isidro that will comment the new updates in the agriculture industry.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to talk about the AGV vehicles. As you can see here, we are going to start with the new makes that we have added to the software. As you know, we have been working very hard to always listen to our customers and add the brands that they need. One of the brands that were asked for a long time was Gleaner, as it is the third most common combine. But also other makes like Acco, Branson, or Rogator were asked for us to add it, and now they have been added. So we have a total of 81 makes in the AGV module. If we move forward, of course, we have always been working on adding also new models, as we know how important it is to be up to date in the agricultural business. So we have been adding different tier 5 engines as these new tractors are coming to the market, and we should also cover this kind of engines. In Case IH, for example, we have added Puma new models. In Challenger, the 83 or 03 models. In Class, Dominator or Avero series. In John Deere, the main make in the market, we have added the 9010, the 47XX, and the 5003E series. Kubota, we have been working very hard on adding the new models in the market, and also other models that are coming to the US market. We know that this brand is growing a lot, and we have added the M5 UN, the M90, and the MGX4 series. Massey Ferguson, the AGCO group, is the other main group in the market, and we have added the 500, the 4600, and the 9300 series. And New Holland, the other main make in the market, we have added new models in the T7, the CR, TS6, and the Boomer D Compact. And of course, we are working also in more secondary makes like Crown, Manitou, and so on. So if we move forward, something very important for us right now in the agricultural modules is to add a lot of technical information, because we know how important it is for you to have the diagnostics, but also to have the technical information. We are working very hard on adding a lot of component pictures, wiring diagrams, and all sort of technical information, of course, in every different make, but the main makes that we can see right now here are Case, John Deere, Kubota, Massey Ferguson, New Holland, and much others. So the technical and maintenance data of the vehicle has been also added, because when we are working on a tractor, even if it's ours or someone else, we need to keep track of the maintenance. And we are also offering this information for the different makes that we cover. Troubleshooting guides and procedures. This is very important for all of you guys, because we are offering you to read the full codes, but you want to know something else apart from the effect and the component that is related to it. And we are working very hard on adding every upgrade troubleshooting guides. So we have added a new make in the troubleshooting ones, that it's Kubota, that we know that the troubleshooting in Kubota M7 series has been the first one, and we have added the troubleshooting for the engine, the ECDIS module, the system, sorry, and the ACU system, the after treatment system. We have worked very hard on improving this make, because we know that it is becoming one of the main makes in the US market, is growing a lot. And we have also been improving the John Deere troubleshootings, and you will find a lot more in this version. And also we have been adding different system displays that are very useful for everyone, because in a quick look, you can see how the system looks like, and also check the main values. I will move on diagnostics and systems, brand by brand. First, Case IH. We have added different systems, as you can see, the front hitch control system, the instrument cluster, hydraulic lift, the spool valves, transmission, and we are adding different actions like the armrest configuration or the shuttle memory option configuration. Class, another important make in the market, we have added the GDM transmission and also the control panel for UBM spool valves. I want to emphasize that we are working very hard on adding spool valve systems in all the different makes, because we know how important it is to be able to codify your own spool valves, or when you are exchanging one or configuring them. So DOITs now. We have added the power shift transmission, and we are also able now to calibrate the clutch pedal in this system. In Fendt, and it is also coming to the US market. So we will see more of these makes in the North American market. And we have added the EOL vehicle configuration system for tier 2 engines and new functionalities of the EOL 7 vehicle configuration system in Fendt, the 800 series models for the interim and final tier 4 engines. John Deere, the main make in the market, we have added this very important action that it is the inducement mode reset. So if serious fault codes take place in the SCR system, the engine control unit will limit the engine power. So what does this operation or action do? This operation resets the startup counter, allowing an additional startup during which the engine will reach full operating capability for 30 minutes. If after these 30 minutes no fault codes are detected on the SCR system, the engine will work correctly. So that's why it's very important, and we have added it in the level 23, 32, 33, and 34 systems in the John Deere interim and final tier 4 engines. Now, Kubota, we have added many different systems in this update. So for all of you guys that work with Kubota, you will be very happy with it. So we have added the NAC GPS automatic driving system, also instrument cluster systems, the tractor isobus control system. We have added the central computer for the MGX models, the central computer for M4, M5, L1, and L2 models, and also the CEU central computer for different models. As well, much more systems for Kubota, the trailer braking system, even the suspension system for MGX models, the transmission range, the transmission TCU PST that we can see here, and we are able now to calibrate the clutch pedal as we can see on the screen. We are also able to do the BCU central computer, and here we are able to perform the automatic control function of the clutch through the brake pedal and also the control potentiometer calibration that it's very important for this kind of tractors. Landini is not as important as other makes, but we also want to emphasize that we have added different systems like the climate control or the cabin module. Massey Ferguson. You can see on the screen that we are offering you how to calibrate the rear lift. Is a very important technical release that we have added in this upgrade. So it's very useful for all of you who need it. We have added different systems, as you can see, as the instrument cluster or the Autotronic 5 linkage hydraulic lift, that here we can perform the rear lift calibration, as we can see on the screen, and also the control potentiometer calibration. McCormick, we have added the trans-Sauer Dan Foss transmission, and we are able now to calibrate the PTO. It is manual, but we are giving you the technical release on how to do it. So we want to emphasize how much technical information we have all over the program. In New Holland, we are able now to connect to the RPTO, rear power takeoff, but also the EDC hydraulic lift, the spool valves system REHR, and the 4WD differential lock, that now we are able to calibrate the steering angle sensor. In steer, as Landini, it's a secondary brand in North America, but we are able to perform different new actions and also to connect to systems like the ADIC instrument cluster or the EDC hydraulic lift. Valtra. As you can see, this is an example of how to modify parameters in the number of spool valves installed. So we are giving you the way on how to do it, and we are also adding systems like the instrument cluster, the hydraulic lift, or the central computer. Now I want to continue with the engine control system and exhaust after treatment system. And here we can see that we have improved Caterpillar, and we have added models with C13, C15, C 4.4, C 6.6, and C.9. In Deutsch, my colleague has explained how important it has been for us. And I want to say that we have added the injector coding for Massey Ferguson 7700S in this EDC MD1 tier 5. And it is very important, of course, every time that we need to replace an injector to be able to code it. But we have also added in this Massey Ferguson the dev checks and dev maintenance options. We can see now the Iveco FPT that it's very important for Case IH and New Holland. And here I want to emphasize that we have added the regeneration of the SCR catalytic converter. Through this action, the soot accumulation in the SCR catalytic converter can be removed. And this is really important to those Case or New Holland tractors. So in this way, the power engine will not be limited. And here we can see another improvements in Perkins, Sisu, Yanmar, VM that affect different kind of tractors in the industry and different systems. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you have liked it. And of course, sign up for the next webinars and follow us on our social networks. Thank you very much.